Online Professional Services Cooperative is because I believe that this is a cooperative that all Filipino online professionals own, control, and manage.
So, the reason kaya po ako sumali sa FOPSCo, kailangan natin ng isang sistema at isang samahan na makakatulong sa bawat isa.
This cooperative is a group na pwede silang sumama para mas magabayan sila sa kanilang freelancing journey.
Ako sumali dihan sa FOPSCo kasi para makabuligak sa ato kapwa mga freelancers, and ito talaga ang passion and my mission.
I joined FOPSCo kasi for me, lahat ng ginagawa ko sa FOPSCo is a privilege ko siya tinitignan eh. Kasi once in a lifetime in history na bigyan ka ng chance na mag-contribute.
Stepping stone na rin to para maabot yung goal ko.
The vision of the organization aligns with my personal vision, which is to develop and nurture an organization within Zamboanga City that provides much needed support for our online workers.
I joined FOPSCo because the people I've met have the same values, vision, and mission as mine, and that is to provide assistance to those who would like to jumpstart their career as a freelancer.
One of the reasons why I joined FOPSCo is because as a freelancer, I think it's important for us to have access to training, whether free or paid.
Wanted our individual reputations to have a collective reputation for excellence.
I wanted to be part of an organization that would be a pioneer group of individuals who will be working to promote online freelancing here in the Philippines.
The reason why I joined this organization is that I saw their mission and vision towards helping all Filipino freelancers.
I choose FOPSCo because we learn and grow as a community to help also others.
Feel more safe and secure knowing that my knowledge and skills will only come from the most renowned and experienced online freelancers and racketeras here in the Philippines.
I joined FOPSCo because I saw the potential growth is not just reaching one's goals and being successful, but there is camaraderie.
I am very inspired with their achievements and advocacy in promoting and helping Filipino freelancers.
Want to learn FOPSCo because of two things. Number one, I want to help freelancers to get a job. And number two, I want to learn more from you. I hope that here we will all grow together.
We grow together.
All right. So that's a big yes. We really are growing together. So again, hello and welcome to our webinar series tonight. And this particular webinar is for our FOPSCo members, DICT graduates, and aspirant freelancers who want to explore, upskill, and acquire new skills when it comes to freelancing, or what we call now the online professional industry. Of course, this wouldn't be possible without the collaboration of the FOPSCo Media and the Filipino Online Professional Service Cooperative. So let me just remind you of the following rules. Please put your phone in silence mode and mute unnecessary noise that can interfere our webinar. And we are seeking for your active participation with this session. So lastly, the Q&A or the question and answer will follow after the discussion of our speaker. By the way, we are live. Hello sa lahat ng nanonood natin sa atin sa FB. And I guess everything is set up now. Let me call on Miss Sydney Vanessa. Hi, Sydney.
Hello, sir. Good evening. Good evening po.
Okay, thank you very much. So please take the presenter's mic to introduce our speaker. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Na-miss niyo po ba kami? Kasi last week hindi kami nag-guest ng webinar dito sa ating page. And dahil dyan, ang ating bagong topic for tonight is entitled Social Engineering, Email, and Data Safety upang maiwasan ang cybercrimes and spams dahil nga po lahat tayo ay mostly nasa bahay and doon tayo nag-work. And our speaker for tonight is an administration supervisor at Eclipse Advisory, a licensed psychometrician, and mental health advocate. She's also a Hack the North PH core member and born in 1995, an INFJ creative that loves art and video games. Miss Pauline believes in the importance of self-learning as a valuable investment. She is also a graduate and medalist of Digital Jobs PH training. So let us all welcome our speaker for tonight, Miss Pauline Espejo. Good evening,
Hello
Miss
po.
Pauline.
Good evening po. Grabe na. Introduction na yung kompleto talaga. Pati yung birthday ko. Thank you po. Thank you po sa lahat. Thank you po, FOPSCo, for inviting me. Actually, ito na ulit yung ngayon lang ulit ako magto-talk kasi ang tagal na. Ayun. Salamat po sa pag-invite.
Thank you, Miss Pauline, for giving us the opportunity na mag-share ka ng iyong knowledge and expertise. And of course, kami ang dapat magpasalamat in behalf of FOPSCo. Okay, so go ahead, Miss Pauline.
Before ko po i-start yung talk ko, magpapa-shoutout muna ako sa Team Laban. Ang team ko dati nung nag-training ako sa DICT, sa Digital Jobs, as a virtual assistant. Of course, special mention kay Sir Mark, ang mentor ko. Very thankful po talaga ako sa mentor ko na yun kasi talagang yung training namin talagang pinush niya kaming lahat and nakaka-inspire lang kasi ang galing-galing niya. Ayun, so pwede ko na po ba i-share yung screen ko?
Yes, please go ahead. Your trainer is Mark Ismana?
Si Sir
Mark
Mark
Portales.
Portales po.
Okay, all right. We have two Marks kasi when it comes to
Okay.
FOPSCo. Yes.
Ayun, thank you po.
Thank you. You have the access on screen sharing. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, ayan po. Nakikita po ba?
Yes, we can see it now. Social engineering. So this is exciting. This is the first topic na may encounter natin here in FOPSCo Academy. You may proceed, Ms. Espino.
Okay. Hello po. Ako po si Pauline Espeo. And I'm going to talk about social engineering, email, and data safety. So it's not so much on the technical part, only dun lang sa applicable part ng being a virtual assistant. So I'm Pauline. I'm a psychometrician. I'm a licensed psychometrician and a virtual assistant for at the moment. So I'm also a mental health and tech advocate. I am an INFJA based on the MBTI personality test. And I'm a former trainee and medalist at Digital Jobs PH Virtual Assistants. So I'm in Team Laban, as I have said a while ago. And I'm also a GUN or core member at hackthenorth.ph. So my hobbies include gaming and movies. So yung gaming kasi ever since nung bata ako. Ayan. So actually sa gaming din, nagpapasalamat ako na natuto ako maglaro kasi dun ko natutunan yung pagiging tech savvy ko and my love of technology. So sa movies, ayun, everybody loves movies. Ayan. So our objectives for today is to relearn basic work ethics and provide basic info on email handling and information safekeeping. This is also to raise awareness regarding digital and or online harms and to secure remote gadgets used for work. And lastly is to identify safety protocols. So first, we'll start with relearning basic work ethics. So, syempre, before naman tayo mag-start sa work, kailangan meron tayong work ethics. And this time, minsan kasi nakakalimutan nating um, bumalik sa basic. So I'll just go through with this slide kasi most of it naman is basic knowledge na. Pero I'll just want to refresh everyone's knowledge on this because this is very important. So first is, as a virtual assistant, not just being a virtual assistant, is establishing your daily work schedule. So, syempre, before we start working, we have agreed with our employer kung ano ba yung susundin nating work schedule. So, establishing and sticking to your schedule will help you stay on track. So a schedule gives your remote work a sense of structure and consistency. So this also lets your workmates know when you are available for work. So of course, sasabihin natin na if you're working from home, nagwo-work kang mag-isa, pero you're still cooperating or doing your work with other people too. So we also have to let them know what our schedule is, especially that when we are working on a project, they also know when they can update us or not. Okay, next is to minimize distractions. So distractions can be plenty if you're working at home. You can minimize or avoid distractions by having a dedicated workspace. Avoid having items that can pull you away from dedicated work time around, such as unfinished chores or social media. So ito kasi is more on discipline, self-discipline. So kung working from home ka and then before that is you're working in a company, hindi natin maiiwasan yung temptation na gusto nating mahiga kasi nagwo-work naman tayo or gusto nating matulog, ganun. Yun yung mga distractions na kailangan nating i-avoid and it's mostly revolving on self-discipline. So next is we have staying connected. So given the nature of remote work, there is an urgent need for effective communication. So check in regularly with your workmates, let them know if you have concerns or questions, and make it a habit to provide updates on the status of any pending work. So yun nga, in relation to the previous slide, communication is very important, lalo na hindi tayo nakikita-kita, and yung mga kasama natin sa work is also working at home, and then of course their work processes are not really hindi natin sila nakikita. So, hindi natin alam kung ano ba yung ginagawa nila. So, communication talaga is very important kasi kailangan malaman mo kung anong ginagawa nila, malaman din nila kung anong ginagawa mo so that maiwasan yung nadodoble yung trabaho or naduduplicate yung task or what, hindi natin alam, hindi na natin ma-follow kung ano man yung nagiging process na nung process ng job na ginagawa nyo. Okay, so delivering results. There is a higher need to deliver consistent results with remote work because nobody sees you and they can see you if you're working. Unlike office-based counterparts who are visible, or ang ibig sabihin natin sa visible is nakikita natin sila. However, keep in mind that visibility doesn't always equate with productivity. So sometimes, yun nga, yung sa work, kung nasa work ka na sa company and then you're working with other people, yun nga, pumapasok sila, pero sometimes, papasok lang sila, pero hindi ganun ka-productive yung trabaho nila or hindi nila nagagawa ng mabuting trabaho nila or minsan nagiging idle sila, mas marami yung time sa breaks kesa sa talagang actual work. So, however, yun nga, remote workers should focus on getting things done. So, ibig sabihin na nasa bahay ka na, you do not work or nakapapetiks-petiks ka na lang, ganun. So, hindi dapat ganun. So, that's part of being, yun nga, being as a talagang kino-comply mo kung ano ba talaga yung talagang pinagdesisyonan ninyo nung employer mo, especially when you are working for employers who are outside of the Philippines. Ayan, kasi mas mataas ang expectation sila, and of course as internal reward is you're bringing the Philippine banner up. ba? Social, kasi hawak-hawak ko na yung banner ng Pilipinas. Ayan. So next is practicing punctuality and meeting deadlines. Ayan, if your job requires you to virtually punch in or out, make sure to sign in earlier or on time. So, yun lang talaga sa lahat naman ng trabaho, punctuality talaga is very important, especially noon pa lang, nung nagsimula pa lang tayo sa school, very important na yung pagiging punctual, ganyan. Kasi it also boils down to self-discipline. So if you find it difficult to finish the task on time, also let the appropriate person know or yung mga kasama mo sa work, kapag hindi mo kayang tapusin, you let them know so that alam din nila kung paano nila i-adjust yung schedule nila sa uh, progress mo sa trabaho or sa job na ginagawa mo. So this shows that you are focused and you value your work quality. And of course, that is also in respect to the work of others. Ayan, so doon na tayo, natapos na tayo dun sa basic work ethics. Now, let's go to email management. So dito sa email management, this is actually a very important job of virtual assistants. So mag-start muna tayo sa definitions. Itong mga to is kailangan nating i-discuss before we proceed to email management so that ma-follow through natin yung mga information na gagamitin during when working on email managing. Okay, so we have personal information. Personal information is essentially an information that identifies a person. So name, address, phone number, date of birth, signature, and email address. So ito yung mga information na kailangan nating i-secure. So later on, I will be discussing to you how we can manage this information very well and secure them so that we can avoid scams or yung mga con artists, yung mga manloloko na tao, yun yung mga ma-avoid natin. That's why we're going to secure this information. Kasi ito talaga pinaka-importanting information natin. Okay, so these are also usual security questions. Kung napapansin nyo, when you're going to sign on banks, yung mga online banking, they usually have or provide you with security questions. Para this is to avoid also na may magsa-sign in na ibang tao dun sa account ninyo. Especially those online information are very important. Lalo na kapag online banking, andun lahat yung pera ninyo na dineposit ninyo, and then once na merong pumasok doon na magnanakaw ng savings ninyo, yun yung pagbe-breach na ng security nung account ninyo. So these are the usual security questions. Security questions are an alternative way of identifying your consumers when they have forgotten their password. So this is parang proof of identity. Kung ikaw ba talaga yung nagla-log in dun sa account na yun. Okay? So first is you have your mother's maiden name. Tatanungin nila kung ano ba yung maiden name ng mother mo. It can be name of your first dog or name of your first pet, name of your best friend, street of your hometown, name of your primary or elementary school, or name of your first boyfriend or girlfriend. Actually, itong mga security questions na to, ito talaga yung nakakapag-identify kung ikaw ba talaga yung nag-login. Kasi itong mga to, cannot be identified by those hackers or scammers na unless they do social engineering. This is why we're going to discuss social engineering kasi paano ba nila ginagawa or paano ba nila nalalaman or paano nila napapasok yung mga accounts ninyo nang hindi nyo alam, na nakakagulat kasi alam nila tong mga security questions, and we'll find that out later. So let's first go through with email. So email is messages distributed by electronic means from one computer user to one or more recipients via a network. So one of the most important services virtual assistants offer is email management. So ito talaga ang dapat alam na alam ng mga virtual assistants. Kasi very important to kasi ang mga employers nila is ipapahandle tong mga emails nila and they have to really know what email management is. Okay, so you cannot offer email management if you don't understand the basic functions of an email. So, syempre, maraming functions ang email. There are basic information there that, syempre, before ka pupunta sa advanced, dapat pating basic alam ninyo. So, we have the obvious and main purpose of an email is online communication. So, this is how a process of an email look like. So this is how email works. So a sender's email service provider goes through a network and then the destination address obtained from DNS server goes to the recipient's email service provider. So likewise with communication, yung person-to-person communication, you have the sender of the information, the receiver, yung nakikinig sa'yo, and then the mode of communication which is verbal. Or sometimes kapag sa phone, telephone naman yung mode of communication. Pero dito sa email, it's more on the server or online communication. Minsan kasi sa work or sa companies, they use a LAN connection na kahit magsasend sila without the internet, it goes through their own server. So I won't explain much of that because that's very technical and that's not my expertise. And pero yan mga yan is that's my self-knowledge and ni-research ko lang yung mga yan. Of course, that's added to self-learning para kapag tinanong ka rin ng employer mo kung alam mo kung paano nangyayari yung mga ganyan, of course, alam mo kung ano isasagot. Ayan, so these are the things inside your mailbox on email. So of course, you have the inbox. Alam natin kung anong purpose ng inbox, kung saan napupunta yung emails. And then yung sent items, kung saan mapupunta yung mga emails na nasend mo na. And then the outbox is emails being sent. So ito yung usually ang mga tao is kapag late na nare-receive yung email or kapag hindi pa nare-receive yung email, they would ask you to look at your outbox. Kasi usually mabagal ang internet or kapag naputol ang connection or nawalan ng kuryente, hindi pa nasasend yung email, it means that it might be on the outbox. Ayan. So minsan nakakalimutan natin ang outbox kasi excited na tayo na mapunta na dun sa receiver yung email. So usually it's also the responsibility of the virtual assistant to look at the outbox. Ayan. So also we have junk mail or spam. You can see spam emails regarded as unimportant or newsletters, promotion emails here. So yung mga paulit-ulit na mga emails or mga emails na identify ng email service na unimportant or paulit-ulit na lang, makikita yan sa junk or sa spam. We also have the deleted items or trash. You can see deleted items here. Some email service providers usually empty out this folder on a certain period of time. So, pwede nyo yan i-disable. You can look at the settings of your email providers and see if you can remove the automatic deletion of the items in the deleted items or sa trash. Kasi minsan, when your employer would ask you about the email that has been deleted before, even before 2 years ago or 3 years ago, magugulat sila na hindi mo na makita kasi na-delete na siya permanently. So we also have to be careful of handling emails even in the deleted items or sa trash. Ayan. So this one is the process involved in the email. So I used some dummy emails here to protect data releasing or something. Ayan. Basta ito mga email na nandito is sample lang siya. Okay? So for a sender, tayo si babygirl at 123.com. Ayan. So you are babygirl at 123.com and you're about to send an important message to babyboy at 123.com. Ayan. So doon naman sa receiver, makikita nila na it's from babygirl at 123.com and then the two is babyboy at 123.com. And then naka-CC si ate girl at 123.com tsaka si kuya boy at 123.com. So you maybe want ate girl at 123.com and kuya boy at 123.com to know what message you are sending babyboy at 123.com. This is why you put them in the CC section. Now, what is CC and BCC? And why CC and BCC? So, CC is carbon copy. When you place a recipient in the CC field, they'll receive a copy of the email. So, kung ano man yung message na isasend mo kay to or dun sa original sender, mare-receive din ni CC. So, kung sino man yung nakalagay dun sa CC, makikita nila kung ano yung message na sinend mo dun sa to or dun sa original receiver. So, however, it's implied that they are not the direct recipient. So that's why CC is commonly understood to mean courtesy copy. You just want them to know what the email is all about, and the receiver will also know who have received a copy of the email. Okay, so ayan. Okay, so nakikita pa ba yung screen? Nakikita pa ba yung hindi ba natakpan?
What is CC and BCC?
Okay, nakikita pa rin. Okay.
Yes.
So, when should you use CC, the CC field? So, when you want to keep someone in the loop, use CC to keep someone updated on important information. Okay, so pero it doesn't require their immediate response. Okay, so for example, allow management and other concerned parties to remain informed on the status of an important project. Also, you have to enhance email urgency. So, by putting someone in CC or yung mga administration, ilalagay nyo sa CC, malalaman nung two recipients na important yung message na yun. So, makikita nila yung urgency nung email. Also, lastly, you have temporarily take on a coworker's task. When you are working on a task of your coworker who is not available and you want to let them know or update them kung ano yung nangyayari na dun sa process nung tinake over mo na job or project, you also have to put them on CC para alam nila kung ano na yung nagiging process or ano na yung nagiging exchange dun sa email. Ayan. And when do you not use CC? Kailan ba hindi dapat gamitin ng CC? So while there are many reasons to use the CC field, practice discernment before you click send. So usually, napapansin ko to even before the pandemic. Dun sa previous job ko kasi, we are we are we are encouraged to attend webinars, and then dun sa mga webinars na mga ina-attendan namin, usually nakikita namin yung mga email invites from them na meron yung mga email addresses ng iba pang na-invite, and that is usually a breach of data privacy. And in order to minimize that, we use the BCC. So later on, I'll share to you naman dun sa BCC or yung black carbon copy. I mean, a blind carbon copy, and that's supposed to be where those email address are supposed to be. Kasi usually kapag, di ba, pag sa webinars, when they invite you or when they send you an invite on your email, sometimes they put everyone on CC, and then you as a receiver can also see the email addresses of those who are on CC. Kaya it will lose their privacy, or sometimes they yung makaka-receive or yung a-attend ng webinar na hindi naman talaga sila a-attend ng webinar, they will use the email addresses, and then they'll be those email addresses will be receiving spams from them, yung mga newsletters na hindi importante, yun yung mga napupunta sa junk folder or yung nandun sa spam folder. And nakaka-irita yun kasi all the time, i-check mo yung junk folder mo, and then, syempre, alam mo yun, it's just a waste of time deleting everything out and whatever. Kaya, dapat we also be careful in putting out email addresses on the CC field. Now, it's tempting to CC people on all matters that loosely involve them. However, spamming coworkers with irrelevant email chains is not recommended. So it can also waste their time and reduce the significance of future emails. So sometimes overusing CC may even cause people to ignore your emails going forward. Di na nila papansinin kasi alam na nila na itong CC na to is nilagay lang nila ako dito and so on. Pero hindi mo na malalaman na importante pala yung CC na yun, na it's also involving you. So that's why we avoid putting everything on CC. Ayan. So unless it's truly appropriate to use CC, consider sharing information to relevant parties in person or within a forwarded email. Ayan. Okay, so let's go to BCC, or blind carbon copy. So as the name suggests, BCC keeps the recipient's emails hidden. So thus, the BCC list is a secret to everyone but the sender. So ang makaka-receive lang is dun sa BCC, magiging secret lang siya dun sa mga makaka-receive. Hindi nila makikita kung sino yung nakalagay sa BCC. So BCC functions differently in relation to email threads, while to and CC recipients will receive replies going forward. So BCC recipients won't. They will only receive the initial email. Okay, so dun sa CC pala, I forgot to mention that when they reply to the CC, ma-receive din nung ibang recipients na nakalagay dun sa CC field. Pero dito sa BCC, when they reply, it will only go forward to the sender or kung kanino galing talaga yung email. Hindi na makikita nung nasa to, nasa CC, yung reply nung nasa BCC. And of course, when the CC replies from that email, the BCC will not receive it anymore. So the BCC will only receive the initial email. Okay, so for BCC, when do we use BCC? So when sharing a company newsletter, so when making use of a newsletter ideas in a company newsletter, keep your email list private by using BCC. So otherwise, it will expose your subscribers to each other without their consent. So yun yung sinasabi ko kanina about data privacy, and it's very important to keep those in private. It's also part of the personal information of an individual, so let us keep all this information private. Okay, so when using an extensive mailing list, BCC is great for sending an email to a large mailing list. For example, dun nga kanina sa webinars, when there are a lot of registrants dun sa webinar na yun, it's important to put all emails in BCC so that kapag na-receive na nung recipient yung email, hindi nila makikita kung kanino pa na-send yung original email. Yan. So to expose something nefarious on very rare occasions, BCC can help you expose problematic behavior. For example, kapag may gusto kang i-report or gusto mong makita ng HR yung email exchanges nyo ng coworker mo na sa tingin mo ay rude or hindi nagre-reply sa'yo, or minsan very delayed yung response nila, para makita din ng HR yung way of work nila, kung paano ba nila dinideliver yung job nila or yung project, para makita nila, you can put them on BCC, or kumbaga parang sila yung makikita nila kung paano ba mag-reply yung or yung coworker mo. Okay, so usually this one is very funny kasi minsan pwede ka magsumbong na hindi nila nalalaman na nagsumbong ka pala, na nilagay mo sila sa BCC. So usually, it's also important here using BCC when you are using your employer's email. So sometimes as virtual assistants, your employer will also give you access to their emails, and then you can use their email na manggagal na malalaman yung mga recipients makikita nila na galing sa employer mo pero you are the one sending out the email. So you can also put on BCC your employer or duplicate what's in from kasi galing sa'yo. For example, I am si Kuya Boy. Si Kuya Boy at 123.com is the employer, and then you're sending in na yung ikaw na mismo ang magsasend using the email address of kuyaboy at 123.com, and then you can put him on BCC also so that makikita niya kung paano mo na-send yung email na yun with his knowledge of para malaman niya kung paano mo sinend yung email na yun doon sa magre-receive. Okay? So, that's also important. Very important yun. Also, hindi na makikita nung receiver yung email, yung na nakalagay pala sa BCC talaga yung boss mo. Okay? So, to sum it up, the best applications of the BCC field are impersonal emails that are being sent to a large email list of people who don't know each other. So, by using BCC, you respect their privacy and avoid frustrating email chains. Okay, so these are some settings of email service providers na in case na ito yung sinasabi ko kanina if your boss wants you to handle his or her email, and then you can send you have to grant access to their account using Gmail. Ito yung settings niyan. So you can show this address only. Ayan yung mga settings using Gmail accounts. Ayan. So for Outlook, ito naman yung itsura ng Outlook. Ayan. So ito kasi sa Outlook kasi very mas madami siyang options unlike Gmail, pero they both function the same. Ito lang is marami kang pwedeng pindutin sa Outlook. So dito sa kapag magsasend ka na sa Outlook ng email, you can edit the from section. So pwede mong i-change dyan na from babyboy at 123.com or from kuyaboy at 123.com, so long as you have access to that email box. Okay, so ito yung mga settings sa mga email service providers. Now, let's proceed to social engineering. Ayan. So, kapag meron po kayong questions, tuloy-tuloy lang po ako. I-ano nyo na lang, lagay nyo na lang sa comment section. Ganyan. Char. Ayun. So, let's proceed to social engineering. Ito, hindi ko masyadong i-discuss yung technical kasi hindi naman talaga ako expert dun. Ang i-share ko lang is talaga yung general information about social engineering. If meron nanonood dito na nakanood na rin ng talk ko nun ng social engineering sa DICT, I have inputted here also some information that I have discussed there also. So, ayan. Medyo mabilis na ako magsalita. Ayan. So, social engineering. First, we have baiting. So, ayan. Mention ko lang din po na all of my sharing here is also some slides from hackthenorth.ph. So, of course, guided ako ng Hack the North dito sa pag-share ko nito kasi I also have to research this very well kasi hindi ko naman talaga siya